Right, still in conversation with us, the one and only, the superhero, Hrithik Roshan. Hrithik, talking about you today being this superhero, this almost demigod status there. I know you're very humble, you're blushing, but my earliest memory of you was that of a shy, reticent youngster. अपने कोने में ज़्यादा बात नहीं करते थे आप. और आज जहाँ जाओ आप ही की बात होती है. How was it? Today there are lots of cricketers in the Indian team undergoing a bad form, bad patch. कोई उनके लिए कोई मंत्र how to surmount these difficulties, whether it's form or physical, and go on to become like
I think life is about evolving, and first I think it's about discovering yourself, accepting yourself, and then a lot of creating yourself. I don't know, it's half the roll of the dice and half belief in yourself that eventually will get you to where you want to get.
It's a lot of talent and hard work too, which you have and you put in. So that was a nice question. I've also wanted to know that. Okay, now moving on, we have this contest, the Extra Innings D2 contest, and the winner wins himself or herself this shirt worn by Hrithik during what part of the shoot?
This is a very when Aryan is in his elements, relaxing, chilled out in his house, that's the kind of stuff he wears. One of my favorites, actually.
All right, and the winner is?
And the winner is Shahir M.A. from Kerala.
Okay,
congratulations. You win yourself this, and there is a runner-up who gets this Dhoom 2 CD.
And the runner-up is Kishan Sugandh from Mumbai.
Okay, congratulations, Kishan. You too.
Thank you.
And now we have our panel. We have Navjot Singh Sidhu, who's dying
to put a question. Yes.
Look. What fascinates me about him is when I see him dance. Look, I've got 2 left feet and he's got 200 twinkle toes. And when I look at him, the only man from Asia who can give Michael Jackson a good run for his money is my favorite Hrithik. Good Lord. All I want to know is how, it just didn't happen overnight. How did you hone your dancing skills? How did you nurture your dancing skills? Was it a school? Were you passionate about dancing? मैं तो bathroom में dance करता slip कर जाता हूँ ठप करके. What is it that made you such a brilliant dancer, boss?
Actually, I think it was the fact that I was a bad dancer. So I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't live with the fact that I can't do something. So then, of course, there were these thoughts of, the words like miracle. I kept thinking, where was this word coined? Something must have happened for this word to be formed.
Correct.
A miracle. So I said, okay, fine, I'm just going to go for it and let's see what happens. And voila, you're comparing me to Michael Jackson.
No, I mean it from the core of my heart.
Filmy language. Michael Jackson ki to chatti kar de. Okay. Well, John here is also very keen to know something. So John, go for it.
Hrithik, the only time I felt like jumping off a 3,000 cliff was when we lost the World Cup final. Mind you, there might have been a few that pushed me, but how many times did you do it?
10.
Around 10 times, yeah.
And how did that work? I mean, was it parachute?
Believe me, when I get back home, and I got back home, and I
can't imagine.
I played that whole scene out in my head. I was like, dude, what's wrong with you?
John, did you have a parachute or?
Well, there are a lot of safety precautions. I mean, it's not it's a calculated risk. It's not just being plain stupid jumping off a 3,000 foot cliff. But but there is a fear factor which you have to go through.
I couldn't.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it.
But before we finish off, I must say this. I've only heard this, so it must be true for sure. That you, apart from everything else, all the success that you've achieved, you managed to be a very squared, very centered, very nice young man, and I must compliment you on that. Congratulations. With all this adulation, though, has there been any moment when you felt a little sort of going a little overboard and saying and not playing true to your character, just sort of getting a little upset with the whole thing, or has that never happened yet?
Well, it did happen actually when I started off. There was this whole disbalance between what was being projected on screen and what the way I was in normal, and I couldn't sort of make sense of what I should be like, because whenever I walked into a room, they expected this god to walk in, and I was just myself, and that disbalance really sort of unnerved me. So there was this one time where I sort of took on the persona of the guy that I was
supposed to be
in the films, and walked in that way, and signed autographs that way, and suddenly I looked around and I caught my parents just looking at me and just showed the mirror to my to my ego, and I was like, dude, what am I doing? This is completely fake. And I just gave that up and finally felt a lot more comfortable just being myself. So I think it stems from insecurity because you want to impress, but then as I said, life is about evolving and discovering and accepting. So I think it boils down to that you have to be the person you are and let that individuality come through, which actually will make you stand out from the crowd.
Very proud of you.
Well, he has
Thanks.
evolved, discovered, and let that wonderful person from within shine through. Thank you so much for being here.
Such a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Fantastic.
If you want to watch the Miracle Worker and the rest of the cast in D2, Doom 2 in action, it comes onto the screens on November 24th, so watch out for it.
Yeah.